How concerned were you or are you about the negativity that surrounds the football program bogging down other aspects of the university?
Well, I do worry about that. You know, I mean, I think it's, as I say, it's, I'd rather be here talking about the great things happening at this university, and there are many. But I also understand the passion for the athletic program, and I relish in it. I think it brings notoriety, and it builds allegiances and engagements with the university, and to that extent it's important. But, you know, in the range of things, there are an awful lot of other things important going on in the university, and I can't, you know, we hope that that does not become athletics does not become the tail that wags the dog of what really is important about this university if the state of Nebraska is to be successful.
Are we looking to clarify that the new interim or full-time AD will then have full control of the next football decisions or immediate football decisions?
That's my expectation. That's what athletic directors do, whether they're interim or permanent.
Is it important that the person who takes over this athletic director job have Nebraska ties, or if you say a national search, does it have to be somebody from the outside?
No. I guess the clear and direct answer is no. I don't think you limit yourselves. We want the best permanent athletic director that we can find. We will search nationally to identify that individual. You know, I think you want someone that has the values that Nebraska has associated with athletics. I think you want somebody that understands the culture of this state and our insistence that we're not only successful, but we do it right. We don't violate the rules, that our student athletes are successful academically as well as athletically. And you want somebody with the skills. Intercollegiate athletics right now is a very complicated and very sophisticated business. You know, the days where if you were an athlete that qualified you to be athletic director are really gone. The big critical questions that face Nebraska is the same that face the Big 12. What are we going to do about the changing media landscape? How are we going to continue to finance athletics in the way that Nebraska demands them? There are just a number of issues on the horizon that are going to take some real leadership, and I'm going to need some real sound advice from my athletic director in terms of how I help this university manage it. So where do we want to look for the best person we can find?
For detail's sake, what time was it, where, and how long did the meeting take with Steve?
Well, I met with Steve at 1:30 this afternoon, and it took a few minutes. I wasn't clocking.
You said you talked about only becoming aware of some of these circumstances recently. Why is that, you think, that you only become aware of them in such a recent span of time?
Well, like I said, you know, I understand the limits of my job. People don't run up to you and say, hey, I got some good stuff on your dean or your department chair. In many respects, I am the last to know things. That's unfortunate in this circumstance. So I don't know.
Where will that $2.2 million come from, and what would have been the compensation package had you fired Steve before the extension?
Well, he was in the last year of his contract, so we would have had to complete his contract. And that would have, you know, I mean, whatever his salary number is, I think it's something like close to $400,000. So whatever he had earned up to this point to June, that would have been largely it. So this is costing us some money, there's no question about it. As I said, the funds will come from funds at the University of Nebraska Foundation that have been designated for the general use of the athletic department.
Harvey, what's your assessment of what the football staff and the program is doing right now?
Yeah, in what respect?
Just progress and kind of direction they're going right now?
Well, I'm not an expert on that. Obviously, I'm disappointed. You know, we don't like to lose games the way we've lost the last couple. I know the coaches are disappointed. I know the student athletes are disappointed. You know, it seems to me you wouldn't want to ask me what the cause of that is, because I don't know.
How big of a guy in hands will actually help in
Well, he'll be one of many people that I will consult. I'm not turning over the program to him, but he's knowledgeable. He has experience. He knows people in the athletic field that probably would be valuable for me to talk to. You know, how could I say that? I've known Tom for a long time. He and I have interacted with him on a number of occasions. He's been very helpful to me on some things associated with athletics and on some things unassociated with athletics. So, you know, I value his advice.
He's been, at least publicly, he's been rather disassociated from the football program. Is this a situation where it's important to get out there back in the fold, so to speak?
Well, Tom is an important, one of the most important parts of the legacy of recent Husker football. And I would hope that he would feel as welcome and as an important part as his success justifies.
Chancellor, who is currently running the athletic department right now?
You know, I hope somebody is. I don't know. Have you heard anything I should know? There is great talent in the athletic department. There is structure in the athletic department. I have no concern that those people will work hard, probably harder than they're working now, and cooperatively with each other to make sure that nothing falls between the gaps while we go through this transition.
What's your timeline to find a new athletic director?
As soon as I can, by doing it in a way that is as thoughtful as possible. I mean, I appreciate the urgency. I think there is a need to move forward as quickly as possible, and that would be in the best interest of the athletic department. But at the same time, you got to take the time necessary to find the right person. And I'm sure all of you in the press are going to make that process about as difficult as possible. But you do your job and I'll do mine.
Do you think that Pederson was accessible enough, not only to the media, but to fans and boosters?
You know, I didn't follow Steve around. I don't know. I pick up things that say he wasn't, but I don't have any measure of that. I don't know if I'm accessible enough. I mean, you guys you're in a better position to answer that than I am.
Chancellor, you mentioned maybe you're the concern of yours, you're the last to know the state of the. Will you do anything different from here on out? Be more hands-on so that you're not the last to know?
No, I don't think that's the way you manage a university. I think you try and hire the best people you can to do the roles that need to be done. You support them. You delegate responsibility and accountability to them, and let them do their jobs. I'm not an athletic director. I'm not a dean of arts and science. Poor Steve Wilborn, dean of the law school, he probably gets more interference from me than anybody else, because I think I know something like that. But that's not how you manage a big, complex institution like this. I give my people the benefit of the doubt. I give them the responsibility I think they need, and I try and hold them accountable.